to be probed over stamp duty collections. Dubai Investment Forum President Muhammadu Buhari urges proposal to create a digital world. Equities market records negative performance as listed equities recorded a minus 4.59% loss week on week as dollar depreciates while investors await the minutes of the U.S. Federal Reserve's meeting later the week. This is Business Express, reaching you on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I am Amina Nujaim. Welcome to the program. The Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission says it's set to probe 22 commercial banks over stamp duty collections. In a statement issued by the Commission spokesperson Ibrahim Mahmood, said the probe would involve a forensic investigation of funds that has so far been collected as stamp duty by 22 deposit money banks from 2000 to 2018. Mohammed said that RFFC was the only constitutional body vested with the powers to monitor all revenue accruals into the Federation account. The RFAFC had recently secured the approval of the National Economic Council to probe accruals to the Federation account through stamp duty following dissatisfaction with what the banks had been remitted into the stamp duty account warehouse housed at the Central Bank of Nigeria. The Minister of Finance, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed, has signed over $523,000 or $185.9 million technical assistance agreement grants with the Islamic Development Bank ISDB Group in Marrakesh, Morocco. In a statement signed by the Special Advisor to the Minister of Finance on Media and Communications, Paul Ella Abeche, the Minister signed on behalf of the federal government, while the President of the ISDB Group, Badr Hajar, signed on behalf of the group at the 44th ISDB Group annual meeting held in Marrakesh, Morocco. The Minister said the TA agreement grants would be used to address capacity building, equipment and logistic upgrade in the Hajj Commission and for the improvement of the cotton, textile and garment value chain in the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. President Muhammadu Buhari challenged participants at the ongoing Dubai Investment Forum to come up with the proposal on how to create a digital world that is accessible, inclusive and safe. The president stressed the role of cyber world on the socio-economic and well-being of billions of people around the world. He says the platform would be hijacked and manipulated as evidenced by the steady rise in fake news and cyber crimes. He added that Nigeria has close to 90 technology hubs and every day new ones are coming up and they are all developing solutions for Nigeria and indeed global problems. Nigeria is one of the world's leading business destinations in Africa, though reports say about 80% of businesses in the country are likely to fail within the first 3 years. This negative story, investigations reveal, is being turned around by the current efforts of government aimed at improving the ease of doing business. Now over to Bosede Abel, who was in some parts of Abuja and x-rays the situation.
Starting any kind of business requires funds. However, every new business has its own fair share of challenges. And while that makes some stronger, some are shoved off markets. Businesses and startups could fail for one reason or another. Why is this so? Well, I'm at Area 2 shopping complex here in Abuja. We need to find out the challenges traders go through.
I've been into this making of block, business of block making machine. Number one, light. Do you get me? Maybe we fill the machine with water. At the end of it, there was no light. At the end of it, you know, that one became a waste. And the money was not coming in, so we have to pack it up.
Changes when they talk about Abuja Municipal, they come in here, they collect rent, they come in here, they ask us to pay service charge, Abuja market management and all that. By the time you pay their services here, it becomes a serious challenge. And it has not been all going well for us as a business person.
Yeah, this place here now, it is the place I'm paying every month. I pay every month in the shop there. So sometimes environmental do come and disturb back and load.
Before I start selling this one, I don't sell it provision. So provision, I'm selling provision, but the game is very, very small inside. So after I sell it, I can see the business is not moving, and then the place I pay here is costly. So that's why I can't stop the selling provision. I can't put the makeup and cosmetics.
My problem now, before we are paying M1 25 M1, one hour we are paying 10,000. Every month, the money is too much. We are not going to making anything M1, even though we make like for them M1 we used to make 20,000. If you just carry 10,000 naira, give them, the money is too much.
You know, this buying and selling, you know, formerly we go to Lagos and then do weigh bill and then they bring goods too. But now, we don't go to Lagos. So we go to, say, here, buy a few things and then come back and sell and put 1 or 2 naira and then make a little income. And that is all.
Our people say when you don't plant, you plan to fail. So first of all, you have to plant. At least you have to save money so that you pay for space if you don't have a space of your own. After that, you will sit down and think, what type of business will you go to? At least you must go for inquiry so that you'll be able to know which one will be profitable or not, so that at the end of it, you will not run into a loss. Number one, we plan for the space, the money that we will set up the space, then the product that we are going to.
In as much as starting up a new business comes with challenges, long-term planning and financial support could tame some of the difficulties that could sweep one off business. From Area 2 shopping complex here in Abuja, I am Bosede Abel.
Thank you, Bosede. That background report by Bosede takes us to our discussion today, talking about startups. We have in the studio financial analyst Tunji Awonusi. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much,
Sorry
Amina.
for getting
No. I mean, this is the first time, and I do appreciate you trying to call my name. It's really okay. I'm fine.
Okay, you could see in that background report,
Yes.
You're talking about startups. Now, startups. What are startups? Are we talking about the shoe shiner? Are we talking about the woman in the salon or the early Dangotes?
That's right.
What are startups?
Yes, everything you've talked about all encompass startup, micro, small businesses. Some people who have said to themselves, I want to start something on my own, and that comes with the reward as well. So it has a risk side and then it has the reward side. So when you started it in, be it a shoe shiner, be it a small retail shop, be it a hairdressing, confectionery shop and all that stuff, anything that you start and you say, I am putting everything into this, considering that there are risks to it and then there are reward. So if you become successful, you get the reward for it. If you didn't go very well, you still get a reward, which is experience, but you would have lost some money in the business and then the effort you put into it.
Now, what economic significance do startups play in, say, the Nigerian economy?
Oh no, it's the biggest. It's the one that can create, especially when you look at Nigeria and the population and the drive that Nigerians have. If we do get it right, small, medium enterprises are the one that are going to take us out of it. So it's really big. And the way you look at it is when you walk down a street, you see the amount of people doing things. So because that young man that you see on the road selling things in the car is an entrepreneur. That young guy selling pure water, that one selling Coke, Mama Put selling Amala Place and all that stuff. They're all small businesses. You can now imagine how much of those people, if they employ one person, how big that's going to be. So they're the life wire of every nation. As big as America is, everything that they've done is all around the small and medium enterprise. So there's always that need for respect to be given to those who start a business and real startup. And that's why we're asking that there should be more support for them. The more of them we have, the better for the employment industry in Nigeria.
Now, pushing the issue further, Africa and even and Nigeria in particular seems to be investors' destination.
Very true.
Now, with the ease of business being introduced in the Nigerian business environment, how would you say that has made startups more attractive to investors?
Well, the ease of doing business is on one side. It tends to encourage more of international foreign investors to come in. But what that does as well is if you have one big, for example, let's say StarTimes, that is your partner, coming into Nigeria, they've created new startup as well. They're creating electrician, they're creating shoplet, they're creating agents and all that stuff. So as it's becoming more easy for you to do business, for other foreign people to come into the country, it gets better down the line because the chain of employment grows. StarTimes cannot do everything. NTA cannot do everything. So they're actually going to list out some of those things. You become an agent that sells that. The people who fix the decoder, the people who do that, those are small businesses on their own that are attached to the ease of doing business. So as people can come into the country and start a big business, that automatically have younger small startups following in that footstep. So ease of doing business is a very positive thing for small, medium and startup in the country.
Now, there is a very disturbing data that says that about 80% of startups fold up by the time it's 3 years.
Yes.
What challenges do you think cause such startups to fold up?
Yeah, first of all, there are a few things you need to do in a startup. The number one is the idea must be right, and you must actually attend to the needs of the people. What you're trying to do is somebody is not filling that need, and what we have done is to create that need. Most of the time, if the idea is not right, no matter how great it is, there won't be demand for whatever you're selling. Automatically that's going to die, because when you put in so much effort and you're not getting return, remember I said to you, the essence of us starting a business is for you to make a profit, so that at the end of the day, when you take out all your costs, there's a profit that gets you going. So that's a big problem. Another problem we have is the cost of money. The cost of getting loan, either from a bank or microfinance or even from some cooperative, is really very high. There's no way you could make business when the cost of money is about 30%. Already the bank is taking 30% of whatever profit you're going to make. So anything you make, you have to give bank interest of 30%. So that's very important. And then we have a lot of issues around multiple taxation and the rest of it. That really affects small businesses as well and all that
now
stuff.
For small businesses,
yes.
How do they tackle the issue of multiple taxation?
They cannot tackle it. It's the government. The government needs to make a position to say we need to grow these businesses. I mean, the way we're going around our taxation now, it's not the best way to go. Yes, we want to encourage people to pay taxes, but we need to give small businesses some windows. Let them get registered. Let them get their TIN number. Let's nurture them to growth first. That's why 80% die. Some of these businesses die not because they want to die, but because today the local government is coming to close their shop. Tomorrow is the taxman asking them to pay a ridiculous amount. This everywhere in the world, you do give small startup at least 5 years for them to stabilize. And the government will give them a lot of support as well, in the form of consulting, in the form of business development, in the form of mentoring, to make sure that they grow. But And the taxes, it's tax free. Sometimes you even get some tax return if you employ some people. There's some different policies that they do too, that the government could even give you some employees for you to employ on behalf of the government, and they pay the salary just to make sure that your business stabilizes. There's nothing. The government just needs to say, listen, we cannot create jobs for 180 million people, but what we could do is we can encourage them to start their businesses. You can imagine what it is if you have a grant to start a business. And those are the kind of things we need. We don't need so much money to be given to people in form of, but let's have somewhere you can go, show your business plan, and then at the end of the day, people will say, yeah, this is something we want to fund, and then encourage the bank as well to give loan at very single-digit interest rate. But we can't do anything with 30%.
Okay. Now, away from some of the challenges which you have highlighted.
That's right.
Now, the issues of, say, technology. The traditional challenges that a startup would have, financing, tax, and all of that. Now, in a world of technology, global village, how does a new startup brace for starting a business aiming at succeeding?
Oh, no.
Passing the 3-year mark.
Oh yeah. Well, if you embrace new technology, I mean, you can do a lot. I'll give you an example. I see a lot of people who sell things on Instagram. All they need to do is set up whatever they are, take a picture of it, put it on Instagram, people place an order, and they send it to them. In that way, you're saving money from renting what I call a permanent place or renting a permanent store. That saves you money. It becomes very creative. What happens is it helps your marketing skills as well, because you need to target some people, make sure you put enough notice there. So technology is great. I encourage anybody who wants to go into startup to look at the linkage between technology and what they're doing. I mean, it's amazing. I was talking to a lady one time who was talking to me. She does ready meal for people. So what she does is she gets an order from you today for the meal tomorrow. So if she doesn't get an order from you till about 4 p.m., that's the end for the day. But that's all done with technology. They send the order on WhatsApp or Facebook or whatever, and then she makes the order and delivers to your office the next day. So in that way, she doesn't need to cook what she doesn't need. Inventory is limited. So technology is the right way to go, and I encourage anybody who wants to go into startup that the first thing you need to do is to find the linkage between technology and the business you want to do, because it saves you a lot of money in between that, in between it.
Okay. Now, for a viewer watching you right now, and you've just planted an idea in his head.
That's right.
What would be the basic requirements for a startup?
The basic requirement is your passion. It's not about money. Money will come, because there are lots of people in Nigeria who wants to support your idea. You must have the right idea, but you must have the passion as well. You know, people always keep talking about, oh, I don't have the money. So, but come up with the idea. This is the only country that I know that you can go to somebody, and if you're really, really passionate about it, the person can say to you, okay, take this money, go and do it. Anytime you finish, bring the money back. It's not done any other place. If I take money off my son, he's going to ask me for the money sometime, and he's going to tell me, when are you going to pay? So what I encourage young people to do who have an idea, first of all, find the right idea, put the right passion behind it. There's somebody somewhere there. And that's why a lot of people go to churches and mosques in Nigeria for miracle. That miracle is always there somewhere. Keep asking people about your idea, and somebody will like it, and then they will give you that support. And then you must start small. I always say to people, you don't have to start big. Start small and do a lot of things in the small way. When you do it small, bit by bit, it would add up. And that's how you grow business. Like you said, the small Dangote. Dangote started like a stall. Now it's a mega business. But when you see him, Dangote still think like it's a small business. He's very shrewd with his money. He doesn't throw money around and all those things. So that's very important. And we must learn as well to be conservative with our money.
Be persistent.
Very true.
Tunji Awonusi,
thank you.
Thank you for joining us on the program. I hope when next we invite you, you would come around.
I would definitely come. I mean, Business Express is the program that I watch all the time, and I think you're doing a fantastic job. I wish you all the best. I mean, including the crew and the producers as well. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much. You are still watching the Business Express. We'll take a short break and we'll be back. Nigerian stocks declined marginally in the week ended Friday the 5th of April 2019. Bosede Abel has a review of how stocks fared.
The NSE All-Share Index and market capitalization depreciated by 4.59% and 4.69% to close last week at 29,616.38 and 11.124 trillion naira, as all other indices finished lower. A total turnover of 3.5 billion shares worth 20.2 billion naira in 19,130 deals were traded in the week by investors on the floor of the exchange. The financial services industry led the activity chart with 3.60 billion shares valued at 14.4 billion naira. The ICT industry followed with 253.6 million shares worth 53.7 million naira, while the third place was consumer goods industry. Trading in the top three equities, Wema Bank PLC, Sterling Bank PLC and Chams accounted for 2.104 billion shares worth 2.26 billion naira in 965 deals, while a total of 18,042 units of federal government bonds valued at 19.6 million naira were traded in 24 deals. 14 equities appreciated in price during the week, 55 equities depreciated in price, while 98 equities remained unchanged. Meanwhile, despite the election in the middle of the first quarter 2019, market report shows that National Association of Securities Dealer over-the-counter recorded appreciable activity. The National Association of Securities Dealer Unlisted Security Index rose by 2.38%. During the period, the National Association of Securities Dealer gained 12.41 billion naira, while 17.54 billion naira added to the market capitalization was due to a security admission of Providus Bank PLC.
Meanwhile, trading ended negative on Monday, 8th of April, as the losers took center stage. The NSE All-Share Index lost 1.53% to close at 29,162.24. Investors exchanged 455.8 million shares valued at 2.257 billion naira in 3,999 deals. Market capitalization dropped to 10.953 trillion naira in one of the biggest losses in recent months. Sterling Bank, Guarantee Trust Bank and Triples were the toast of investors, recording over 66 million traded shares. European markets edged lower and Asian stocks closed mixed as investors digest United States job data. Let's take a look. Gold prices hit one-week high as dollar turns lower. How are commodities faring on the global market? We take a look. With that, we come to the end of this episode of Business Express. All previous episodes are available on YouTube, and you can also communicate with us on Twitter via our handle NTA News Now. Have a fruitful week ahead, and remember to join us on Wednesday for another package. I am Amina Mijeng. Thank you for watching.